Okay, let's talk about the events. Um, this the events interface is probably like the most complicated involved, but it's pretty easy to follow through um, as you go through it. There's just a lot of different fields in here, but I hope it's straightforward. So let's just say you wanted to add a new event. First of all, let's just look at how this looks on the front end. There's a couple things here. First of all, this is the main events area where we have the LCBA events. There's a couple of test events in here. And then over in the sidebar, we have other events of interest that are not LCBA events, just other things you might want your members to know about. So the first part of this is which area it gets displayed in. And you'll notice if you go to another page, this sidebar has just the LCBA events in it. In this case, when you're on some other page, it's only when you go to the events calendar that you get these other ones over here. So going back to the back, let's say we're going to add a new event, and we put the title in here. We'll call it new event, and then it's this drop-down menu right here that determines where things display, like I was just showing you. So all of these first several options down to the bottom one are LCBA events that would show up in the main content area of that page. And it's just this last one. If you select this, that tells the computer to put that event only in the sidebar, that it's not really an LCBA event. So that's the key to that. And it says so right here. So hopefully easy to remember that. And then the other ones are just by the type of event you typically have. There's the monthly lunch, there's committee meetings, the 3 big annual events, and then a catch-all for anything else. So first of all, let's make this a regular event. Then in here you just select the date. There's this little calendar date picker, and you select what that is. Let's say it's 24th of August. Now let's just leave it at that for a second. Down here is where the description goes. Now we're just going to publish it like this right now. Whoop. Oh, we have to have a location. That's a required field. So this is going to be at LCBA World Headquarters. And now we'll publish that. And now let's go over here and look at this event. So it's on the 25th of August. Here it is, new event, or the 24th. So that's all that we have right now. And you'll notice that it's displaying here in this area. Now, if we come back here, we make this a non-LCBA event, update it, and then we come back to the front, and you'll see that it's gone from this area, but it's now showing up here. So that's just how that works, which I explained before, but so you can actually see it happen. Now, this next little checkbox, as we're going through here, let's make this a LCBA event again. Let's say it's a monthly lunch. Now, where it says this is a placeholder, this is if you have an event such as we have over here, way at the bottom, we have the Holiday Social and the Spring Bash 2017. So the dates for those aren't set yet, but wanted to have these on here so that members would kind of have them in mind, be reminded that they're coming up. So if you want to do that, you do have to set a date for every event, and that will place the item in the list chronologically. You see it starts with what's coming up soonest, and then it kind of goes into the future as you scroll down the page. So you just pick some date that would be roughly about where it was going to be, and then click this, and it won't actually display the date, but it will put it in roughly in an appropriate place in the list of events. So that's pretty much what that does. And if you do click that, it gives you another field to put in that will display in place of the date. So right here, for instance, on this one, I just typed in coming up in December 2016. And so that displays instead of this date. And this date is automatically generated based on what you've put in here. So then you just select the time. The location, as I said, is a required field, so that has to be there. And then down here is the description. Now this box is kind of an important one. So it's to enable online registration. So would you like people to be able to sign up and or pay on the website? So sign up means they just RSVP. If you just want a list of who's coming, it's really easy. People just put in their name and hit RSVP, and they're done. And then if there's a fee or cost, this also will allow you to sort of enable the payment option. So if you click this box, it gives you more. The first field, typically you won't have to worry about. This is the email that you would want it to go to, the notification of somebody signing up, if it were different than what are the usual ones. So at that point, I want to show you one other thing. So down here in the menu, there's options. And if you click on options, take you to this other page. And these are just options, a little bit of a misnomer, but this is just where we store the email addresses that we want notifications to go to. So there are several options here. One is event signups. One is for the monthly lunch RSVPs. Those, I'm told, will typically go to a different person than the regular events, and so those are separated out. If you choose up here, if you choose the monthly luncheon, that is what triggers the fact that it will go to this email instead. And then we have a main email for new email contact for new members or renewals, dues payments, and then one is just a general contact for the site. These you can actually put a string of addresses. You would just put a comma and then you would put Joe at whatever. You can put as many as you want in there. This last one takes only one address though. That gets used in different places on the site if there's an error or something, and give people the option to contact that address directly. Hopefully people won't see that very often, if ever, but it's important that we have that. So these are easily editable. If as the board changes and there are different people that need to be contacted for different things, this is where you go to change that. Okay, so let's go back to this event now. So again, this field, you would only fill this in if you want to override what's on that other page. So typically you can just leave that as is. This next box is, do you want people to be able to sign up guests? And so you would check this if you want to get a head count, if a member is going to be able to bring guests, or if people will have to pay for the guests, or if you just somehow need to know the number. But so if it's for members only, or if it doesn't matter how many guests somebody brings, and you don't need to count, then just leave that unchecked. Otherwise, it creates a spot in the form for people to enter a number of people. Then here's last day to register. So say our event was on the 24th, so we want to say, well, the 22nd should be the deadline for signing up. If you don't put anything in here, the form will remain up until the event has passed. And then finally, the ticket price. Well, not finally, but the ticket price. If there is a cost for the event, you want people to pay on the site, then you can put in the amount here in dollars. If there's no cost, just leave that at 0, and there will be no payment form that appears on the site. It will just send an email that says so-and-so has RSVP'd. Well, let's put that at 10 for now. And then finally, if there's meal choices. And if there are meal choices, you might remember this from the board page or the committee pages, where we have this kind of thing where you can just add different things. So we could say fish, chicken, and tofu. So then the description of the event. and then you just hit update. Now let's go back and take another look at this. This is our new event. And so now we have a form, and we're allowing people to sign up multiple people. And you know, if they change this, we get another box here, and they can put this in, and then they need to choose meals also. And well, let's just go ahead and fill this out. So this will be me, and then somebody else is going to be this will be your OSBA and OSB number. And if someone doesn't have one, that's fine. And then it takes us to the payment form where you would put in your credit card. And that's it. And then emails will get sent out to the appropriate people. So that's how that works. You'll notice we didn't have this check, so it didn't allow guests. So if we check this box at this point, and we go back to the event, we have an option here to put in a number of people who are guests as opposed to members. And so here we need to put the member's name and then the meals that were required. So hopefully that is enough explanation to help you get through here. If you ever have any questions, you can always give us a call, send an email, whatever, and we will help you out. Thanks very much.